Hello, how are you? Sometimes I think I can stay away from politics, but what's going on in this world today is so closely related to end times that I have to look at the politics. I think this talk of Trump and Zelensky, I don't know if you've seen it. I just watching a commentary by Scott Ritter, who I watch once in a while. I don't like him as much as Colonel McGregor, but he has a good, interesting view on things. And he is really coming down very, very hard on Europe. Well, I guess it's an extension of what J.D. Vance did in Munich during this security conference. Yeah, he's stepping right into those steps of J.D. Vance. Oh, Europe is the warmonger. They have always been that way. That's what he's saying. Always been that way. They always had nothing but war on their brain. Well, and the U.S. hasn't. Of course, he's saying the same thing. He's saying, well, yeah, of course, these people that came to the States, or many of them, they just continue this warmongering in their head. And the reason why the U.S. entered the First World War and the Second World War was nothing but warmongering ideas, imperialistic thinking. But yeah, this is all politics and history, and it's interesting politics and history. So what is going on that shows us, hey, this is going towards the end times prophecy in the writing? Well, it's very simple. This beast out of the sea that we see in Revelation 13, the head wound is healed. The head wound is healed. And so the United States wants it to become independent again. See, this is the way now they can step back and blame again Europe. Oh, it's all Europe's fault. I don't know if you know what happened with the Ukraine and Zelensky, of course, the president of the Ukraine, and this whole history. We've been going through this history now for a while. But really, the war was started because of the United States. The war would have never started without the United States. Never. The putsch, they call them putsch, right? In 2014 was financed by Soros and the United States. And that's when everything started. Well, it started way before that. So this conflict was created by the United States. The United States' empirical tendencies to want more and more land. And what we have now is, the United States wants to step back and let Europe take the blame. How convenient, isn't it? Oh, but hey, it's Trump. We're not dealing now with Biden, do we? Well, what did Trump do before Biden became president? He was there. He didn't contribute anything to the peacemaking process. The conflict was already there between Russia and Ukraine. Why did Trump not step in and solve it then? Oh, he keeps saying, well, I wasn't president during that time. Yeah, he was a president 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He was a president, and he didn't do anything about it. No, you know what? It was a different time, wasn't it? But see, now the United States wants to stop sending money to the Ukraine. They had enough because they need to invest the money into other things like AI and surveillance and these big computers and stuff they want to build. Star Wars project. They have to do that now, see? So now they can't support this war anymore in Europe. So what do they want to do now? They want Europe to support the war, be responsible for their own defense. You know, if you left Europe alone, they didn't need to defend themselves against Russia because they used to live in peace. But no, the United States had to stir that conflict up. And now they want Europe to take over the military action. And specifically, mainly Germany. And Germany is very ill-equipped to do that. They were kept as, immature children for the past 80 years. They were never given any freedom. And now they want them to hurry up and grow up. Just barely 18, not even 18. And they want them to defend themselves in war. I see very, very interesting movement going on. It's not just Germany, it's all of Europe. Europe, again, is supposed to become the independent beast out of the sea. That's what they want to do. So they don't want Europe to be dependent anymore on the beast out of the earth. That way they can blame them. See, that way they can conveniently start a war in Europe with Russia and step back and say, oh, it's not a world war. We're not going to get involved in it, so it's not a world war. But eventually, again, when everything is almost totaled, the United States will step in and reclaim Europe. But first, they're going to destroy or have Europe destroy partly Russia. People, I have mentioned Ilmaya so many times. And the reason why I mention him is because for me, he seems to be the most, for my intuition, the clearest person that I can find that predicts what's going to happen to Europe very soon here, very soon. He did predict that Russia, and there's others of course, that Russia will make it all the way to the Rhine River. And Russia will not be stopped. They will make it to the Rhine River, take in all those countries, including Germany. But then he says there will be little, what he calls them, drones, throwing little packages over Germany. And that will be the end of it. That'll be the end of Germany. That'll be the end of the Russian army. Of course, the Russian army or Europe will be cut off. The rest of the troops will be cut off from Russia. That will destroy Russia. When Russia is destroyed, then, of course, the United States has Russia out of their hair, so to speak. Russia is defeated. Then the only thing they have to do is defeat China and its allies in order to be world power. Are they thinking that way? And people are just too deceived to understand. See, this is all biblical. We will be going into the Third World War. There is no doubt. The question is, how will we go into it? We will. It's biblical. The Armageddon War in Revelation 16, I think it starts with 12, is no doubt the last battle of World War III. There's no doubt, people. Now the question is, how will we end up there? I've said so many times in my videos that I don't see Russia in that battle. There is no country from the north in that battle. Yeah, you can say the kings of the east include Russia, but Russia is really the king from the north. And the king of the north is not mentioned. That means for me that maybe the king of the north doesn't exist anymore. Or at least most of his empire is dead, is gone. Maybe there's still small parts left. So somewhere, Russia had to be defeated. And again, when I see what Elmaya predicted, and you can look him up, for Europe, and other people too, even a Christian seer was seeing it, then we can see that this, what we're seeing right now, is a plan to pull Europe into the Third World War. Or let's say maybe start this Third World War with all of Europe. Okay, the United States will hang back. So the big boys are again destroyed, or at least somewhat destroyed, like Russia. And then we're going to swoop in and give Russia the rest. That's what I foresee. Yeah, Europe will be very, again, destroyed, or most of Europe, let's put it that way. Maybe not all of it, but most of it, because he also predicts something about England, that England has 1/3 of England will be destroyed by I guess a missile or something that was thrown on or released in the channel, the English channel. Yeah, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that, of course. Nobody talks about these things anyways. Yeah, I can piece stuff together by this Scott Ritter. I can see right now the propaganda of, this warmongering Europe that has always been warmongering. But then again, what do you think the U.S. has been doing? They are not any different, are they? Because they're an extension of Europe anyways. Their attitudes, they come from Europe. They come from the dragon. Yeah, read the description of this beast out of the earth. It's not that much different than the beast out of the sea. It gets its power from the dragon, which is Satan. So its tendencies to war and have empirical tendency is not too much different. Scott Ritter made it think like, oh, it's so much better. Trump is really trying to do something different right now. Well, maybe he is portraying himself, or the idea that he has right now, that we want to do peace. We want peace. See, if I come in as a peacemaker, then I have to make somebody else look bad. Especially if I did stir them up prior. Well, people can say, well, Trump didn't stir anybody up. But the people that picked Trump are not any other people than the people that stood behind Biden. Same people. And it goes all the way, of course, back to the fallen angels and to Satan. Nobody thinks that. Nobody looks at that. Nobody sees the true player behind all of them, which is Satan. Satan having them all as puppets on a string. Every one of them. Every one of them. And all it is a puppet show. And we are dumb enough to sit in front of it and looking at the puppet show, and we really think we know everything that's going on. Scott Ritter doesn't. He can now be the agent of, oh, those bad Europeans. All they want is war. Well, I am almost certain there's a lot of Germans, there's a lot of Europeans that don't want war. There's a lot of Americans that don't want war. There's a lot of Americans that do want war. I know the saber rattlers, the politicians. And guess what? Rubio is one of them. Rubio is one of them. I'm surprised how he can keep his mouth shut right now. Because he used to be one. All these Christian Zionists, they're saber rattlers. Every one of them. And they call themselves Christians. They're not Christians. Blessed are the peacemakers. That's what Jesus says. Peacemakers, people. Blessed are the peacemakers. Not the saber rattlers. I don't care if it's over Israel or over anything. Remember that parable that I told you about in Mark 12. The vineyard doesn't belong to the wine keepers or whatever they called. The vineyard belongs to the son. And what did they do, or what did they do? They killed the son. And the same people who killed the son, the descendants, are now still trying to take the vineyard away from the owner. They're still saying, oh, it's our vineyard. We're going to take the vineyard back. You know, the story with the vineyard continues. Yeah, the owner came and he killed the wine keepers. I think that's what they're called. But the descendants of those wine keepers today went back and took over the vineyard again from the owner. Then my question is, what do you think the son, now the owner of the vineyard, will do when he comes back? So we can continue that story of Mark, what is it, Mark 12? Yeah, what do you think the son or the descendant of the son will do? Of course, it's the son, right? Because they really didn't kill the son. The son, came back to life. But that son that came back to life after they killed him, he is going to come back. Yeah, what are they going to do? What is the son going to do? Oh, he's going to say, oh, thank you. Thank you for stealing my vineyard. That was really nice. Oh, thank you for killing all the people that I put in there to take care of my vineyard. Thank you. Really? You think so? What do you think the owner of the vineyard will do? How about Zechariah 14? Yeah, it is the Armageddon war. And there'll be a total bloodbath, people. But it's not going to be just a bloodbath of the beast out of the sea and the false prophet, which is the beast out of the earth. But everybody who are aligned with the beast system, which is Israel. Because Israel stole the land from the owner. Oh, they're not saying, well, we're just keeping it, we're just taking care of it. No, they're stealing all the land. More and more and more and more land. They think all the land belongs to them. No. No. What will the Son do when he comes back? Because he's resurrected from the dead. These false vineyards, or whatever they're called, they just thought they killed him. That's what we're going towards. How much longer do we have until we get to this point of last battle? Armageddon, the last battle? How much longer? I don't think very much longer. Everything is being prepared. What's happening right now in Europe is being prepared. Yes, Scott Ritter is right. When you look at those people that started First World War, Second World War, they were definitely warmongers. And yes, Europe has a tendency to be warmongers. That's what they've been doing. I have actually said that, people. The rulers of Europe, that's all they ever had in mind, is war, war, and war again. They did not care about the people. Never. Oh, we have plenty, so the next war is coming. Between the First and the Second World War, people, they have had hardly any time to, again, grow up some kids that would go into war. Unbelievable. 1918, First World War was over. And when did they start the next one? Within one generation. Well, that's all they needed, right? To have another generation that would do their warring for them. And in those days, they just popped out the kids just one after another anyways. 10 kids was nothing. So yeah, I guess the dumb people, they always continue, to provide more and more cannon, what did they call? Cannon fodder or something, what they call it? Cannon food. Which the ordinary people are. Yeah. One war after another. Until the end. And the only thing we can do is scream and hope that Jesus will come soon. Because it's true. People, if he is not coming soon, we will actually annihilate ourselves. We'll be gone. These transhumanists, they are kind of right. I don't think humans are, they're not right about God. you know, God knows what he's doing, and he has always done, of course, a perfect job. But what humankind is doing is unbelievable. And again, do we really, humankind is so evil, I don't know how in the world they can be saved. And there's only a few anyways that are really saved, that are really longing for peace. Again, blessed are the peacemakers. Are we peacemakers? Are we truly peacemakers? Again, blessed are the peacemakers. I'm coming to an end. Yes, I'm glad that the U.S. stopped giving aid to Ukraine. I'm very thankful for that. But then again, I know it's only one step away from truly starting a war. They're planning it. Yeah, they're making it look like right now, like we are the good people. Oh, we're the good people. But in reality, they're already planning a war that will end up in the Third World War, but they're just covering their side. That's the way that I see it. The United States is covering their side. So again, at the end, they come out as the good people. You know, it's the same thing after the First World War, the Second World War. They always come out as the good people. And this time, they want to come out as the good people again. But I'll guarantee you this time, they will not. God will look through it, and they will be destroyed just the same way that the beast out of the sea will be destroyed. They both will be thrown into the lake of fire. They will not escape this time. People, I'm coming to an end. Wake up and look through these political things that are happening today. They are absolutely showing us that the end is near. The end is absolutely near.